Welcome back, everybody. We are here once again, rounding out some Nemesis League action. We've had a full day of matches, some very close series, and some less close series, as in the last one we just had, Melons versus Velocity. Velocity gave it their all, but in the end, it was too much, as we are working through some shenanigans. But while that is happening, I will introduce a man you all know and love. He's a goat, and he is here with me once again in the booth. Already commentated one. Why not make it two tonight? How you doing, Bagels?
Doing pretty good. Ready for some Titan League action. There was some, usually it's the players that make the mistakes in here, but our lovely streamer in Kripist has named the teams incorrectly, and the players were not that happy about that. Which normally every match I play in League Play, it's like a miracle if you can even get the teams named. But that being said, it is a stream match, so we do need those team names to be correct. And it is the Krakens versus Vanguard here tonight for our final matchup.
And there you have it, the Krakens, number one. They have not lost a single series this entire season, actually. They have had a few close calls, but they have come out on top in every single series so far. We're looking to see if that trend continues into the playoffs, and I'm curious what your thoughts are on that, Bagels. Do you just think they're gonna sweep, or not sweep, but just win out from here?
Well, I thought I did have some information for you. I thought Luca would not be playing, but it looks like he is in fact in the lobby. I thought it would be Revi subbing in for him based off of some previous information. That being said, Tomer will be subbing in for Magic Mike on the opposite side, so this is going to further increase my it's going to further increase my prediction that the Krakens will take this in dominating fashion.
And I gotta say, that's a pretty good start. Coffee getting the hit back. Luca gonna secure the goal. He did most of the work anyways. Very swiftly breaking down that Vanguard defense in the first 6 seconds. But, it's a kickoff goal. Kickoffs can be quite volatile. So, perhaps, Vanguard, they are very, very clear underdogs in this situation. They will be happy with... Well, I would say I don't know if they expect to win this one. Everything is packed against them. I hope they still believe in themselves, with some great mechanics coming out of Arrow. Tomer looking pretty good in the plans, and Zera as well, actually here, not fixing his car or being booted off his PC. They might have a flying shot here.
Yeah, it just depends on how much the Krakens are trolling, which the series is pretty late, so I figure they kind of just want to relax the rest of the night. So I think they're going to want to try and get this one over with as soon as possible. That being said, gamer hours, everybody's staying up past midnight and whatnot. Wouldn't put it past them to troll a little bit, as Luca almost with the flip reset double tap. And Coffee gonna find the follow-up for a quick 2-0 lead, and this is just Krakens running the show.
And a cool second goal. Coffee putting in another one. I almost saw Luca get a spicy flip reset double touch there, just narrowly missing, but the pressure he was able to generate managed to be enough to get past this Vanguard defense, and they really are up against it because the Vanguard defense, from what I've seen, has been quite, well, I wouldn't say quite weak, but that is their weak point as a team, sometimes struggling to communicate and rotate effectively. As another double touch attempt potentially. Luca will hit this one over the top. Stay alive for now, but with a Kraken's defense that brings as much heat as these guys can, you gotta imagine it's gonna be a rough road ahead.
Yeah, and putting in a third goal. And, Tomer, he played very well in the play-ins, but that being said, he was also up against the Pinnacle roster, which, honestly, even with Tomer subbing in, no offense to Pinnacle, but I still thought they were going to get swept, and I still think they should have gotten swept. So Vanguard, unfortunately put themselves in this position going up against Krakens. They would have had a much easier road, as Mitch will collect a fourth. A much easier road if they, in fact, won that game. They would be playing the Spartans on Friday later, so not only would they have Mike, assumingly. But they'd be going up against a much easier opponent. Meanwhile, Pinnacle gets the pleasure of playing Spartans, which, I still feel like the Spartans are probably going to sweep them. But, anything could happen.
Well, anything could happen. I do hope we get to see some Vanguard outplays sometime soon here, as 3 minutes and already, or 2 minutes, 3 minutes left, already 4 goals for this Krakens roster, which we know is exceptional, being flashbacked to the Rocket League Worlds Grand Finals right now as a bit of a stomping in this Game 1. Luca gonna secure another one, and this Game 1 might just be out of reach for Vanguard.
Yeah, this is a GG go next. I mean, really, at this point, I don't want to discount them the rest of the series, but obviously, going into this, I thought Luca was going to be subbing out, so I thought it was a sub v sub matchup, which would have been much more equal. Not quite sure where those rumors, allegations came from, but Luca is in fact here and showing up 2 for 2 with 2 saves here in Game 1. But, 5-0, halfway through, pretty much a 2-goal lead in Titan is secure. Even some 1-goal leads, depending on how you're playing, as they are just mopping the floor with them. But yeah, Vanguard, they just gotta troll the rest of this game and move on to Game 2 and try and come up with some sort of strategy to get Tomer involved against these higher level opponents and get some demos in, get some boost steals, just something to disrupt the mechanics of Luca and Mitch here.
And there is just no mercy being shown from the Krakens. I would say they want to go to sleep as fast as possible, but the better way to do that would actually be to not score for the next 2 minutes. So it looks like they're just kind of chilling, putting in some more goals. And, it's only the first game. All hope is not yet lost for Vanguard, although they will have to pull off something pretty spectacular to recover from such an initial burst. It looks like they might be able to get one here, and actually Luca managing to get a save off of the crossbar. Thought that one might just be straight in. But Vanguard's starting to get a little bit of pressure, and if there's one thing that they can do towards the end of this match, it's try to generate a little bit of pressure for their own, try to find some ways to try and just find any weakness that they can exploit in this Kraken's defense, and try to figure out their game plan moving forward. That's a great save from Zera, keeping the ball out of their net for now, but the follow-up from Luca will be good, and he adds on to get his, the 7th goal of the game for Krakens, his 3rd.
Yeah, just a good shot off the side while Zera couldn't get back in time, and a really good shot from Mitch on the previous drive there, going for the Doomsy. Happened to just split into the hands of Zera on the goal line, but a dominating 7 goals here. And Vanguard, again, is looking to get some sort of momentum here, heading into game number 2. But I don't know, this could be a real ugly series. We may see some record-breaking stats made in this series. I don't know.
We just might. It's looking a little bit rough as Luca with the pre-jump off of Mitch's double touch. At least looks like we're gonna get some cool goals out of this one. If not an absurd amount of them. But 40 seconds left. This one well beyond the reach of Vanguard, I should say. They're just playing out the clock now, kind of autopiloting, just trying to GG's go next. And moving forward, I am curious, it looks like a complete blowout. It is a complete blowout here in Game 1, but is there anything this roster and Vanguard can do to try and create some sort of chance for them to survive in the rest of the series?
They could get Magic Mike in here, as he is in Twitch chat. But I know, based off of previous information, as the Brazil is secured. Mike is stuck in Dallas, apparently.
Oh.
So he's just in Twitch chat to support his team. I did hear from Arrow that he was sick, so either way, probably not an ideal situation for the Vanguard roster, as Game 1 will come to a close. But to your point, to your question rather, just kind of like I said earlier, the success to this is going to be to try and get Tomer involved in some way possible, which, like I said, he did have a pretty standout performance there in the play-ins, but just the rotation from Arrow and Mike wasn't ready for the emergence of Tomer there in that series. So a lot of double commits did happen. But that being said, Tomer, again, on top of the scoreboard here for game number 1 for his team. Granted, a little bit of a garbage time goal there to put him ahead of his teammates. But they just got to get Tomer involved somehow, some way, in an effective manner. Because using mechanics from Zera and Arrow, it's just not going to get the job done when you're trying to solo with mechanics in a 2v3. Maybe if they don't have boost, you might be able to put a few goals past here and there. But just the overall speed from Krakens is going to be too great to try and do that with a subpar rotation. So they just got to get Tomer involved in some fashion.
Well, he did score their only goal, like you said, and with that Arsenal profile picture, the thing of beauty. If there's any man who can pop off and try to put something up against the Krakens, maybe they can get all 3 players involved. But moving forward, it's a tough road. The Krakens, no slouches. They're undefeated for a reason in the highest league, with potentially one of the best Nemesis teams of all time. But no one is unbeatable. We'll have to see how the Vanguards try to adapt. Mitch already with a redirect off of the kickoff. This one going to go high. Tomer trying to clear it out. This one will be sent into the half. Some quick opportunities. A miss actually from a Krakens player there. Will provide a shot attempt. Zera takes a quick shot off the backboard, but it will get cleared away. Arrow trying to send this one down, but Lucas sends it right back. Vanguards already beating out their pace for the first game at least. Haven't conceded just yet. And in fact, actually getting a few looks on net so far.
Yeah, looking to just be pretty aggressive here early on. Haven't been punished for it yet. But, try and set the pace here. Vanguard needs to do. It's a missed shot coming out from Mitch. If that was on target, nobody was up for that ball. But yeah, they just got to try and somehow set the pace, which sounds weird to say considering the position they're in. But if they can somehow manage to do that, they will put the Krakens on the back foot. And, granted, Blizzard, well, technically I think there's been 3 teams to take Krakens to Game 5. That's been Blizzard twice. And Godfather's Week 1, which that was the most troll series of all time, and my team in the Grandmasters. So, Vanguard, they don't exactly have the double flip reset potential and power of Mad Max on Blizzard. But you know what they could do? They could play like the Grandmasters and just fake every single ball and be the most unreadable team in history. And they might have a chance in this series.
Yeah, that combined with the also Grandmaster strategy of demoing whenever you are given an opportunity, or maybe that's just a bubbly thing.
No, it's
either
everybody.
way, if you could take some of those crucial gears out of the equation of the formula, potentially you might just have a shot. For now, still remaining scoreless. Mitch was airborne before I even switched to his perspective. That ball had not left the ground before he was in the air, and he is continuing on his way. Actually, that'll be Luca going for the air dribble towards the net. And now a bit of a breakaway, but Mitch will be able to make it back in time. Doesn't look like there's many concerns for Krakens at the moment. If there was ever a time for Vanguard to try and strike, it would be now. Still trying to keep what pressure they have. Zera can't get the 50. Coffee gets this one sent up over his backboard, and now it's Luca looking for the touch. Blocked away nicely. It's a good sign from Tomer. Getting involved with the defensive play, making a critical touch. But it's Krakens in the driver's seat now. Luca looking for the touch, tries to get the ceiling shot. Sent away once again. And still scoreless here in Game 2. A much better result for Vanguard. But you're still having flashbacks if you're them, and you're still remembering how scary that this Krakens roster can be. Here comes Luca with another solo play, looking for the ceiling pinch. Zera hits it right back into him. That was reminiscent of the play we saw earlier today with Larry getting the dunk off the midfield. This time, not resulting in a goal. The Krakens keeping up this pressure, and it feels like it's only a matter of time before Vanguard breaks.
Yeah, I mean, as a pinch attempt coming out, but they've certainly held on, and can't tell if it's a credit to Vanguard playing a much better game or Krakens just taking their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Kraken's not making any mistakes by any means. It just looks like they're marginally slower, and that's just a credit to Tight League. I'm sure a lot of the lower league viewers in chat probably still think this is a much faster game, but as a fellow Titan League player myself, I can definitely tell they are taking it easy here, not going all out, as they probably know this series is in the bag for them, and it's good to have confidence, but at some point they do have to score, taking it easy or not. And credit to Vanguard, putting up a good amount of saves to block all the shots from Krakens, and not giving them too many solo play opportunities, but they only have 3 shots themselves, so really it's just a matter of whoever makes the first mistake here in regulation. Otherwise, we have to wait to overtime.
Now heading into the last minute. Still no goals put away, and that's a double commit by the Krakens. Might offer an opportunity for Vanguard as Arrow trying to get this touch. He actually fakes it out. He almost got the Grandmaster style fake there. Didn't quite work out, but did give them a look at the opponent's net. Only a marginal amount of seconds to go, and Zera trying to take this one to the ceiling, trying to get the block. Does find the block on Mitch, but follow-up a little bit weak. Tomer just kind of sending the ball right into the hands of the Krakens, waiting patiently. And it will be difficult to move forward. Looks like we might be heading into an overtime as Coffee looking this one out. Tomer with a nice shot. Zera might be able to get the angle, but won't quite be able to find it. The ball will remain airborne, and a fast pinch from Luca. This one will land on Arrow's car. Opts to let it hit the ground, and for our first, well, this is literally the complete opposite of game 1. Just a stalemate as opposed to, well, we all saw what happened in game 1.
The utter dominance in the Brazil there, and I just wish Arrow had a little bit more boost there on that 0-second play, as Arrow with space and the ball is a dangerous thing, but not able to manufacture enough boost to get there. Always up for this ball. Backboard not open for a double tap there. Will be clear to get away once again. Now Luca on the solo play, but carrying it off to the corner. And yeah, I mean, they're doing just enough to hold on, but they're not putting themselves in the driver's seat to take control of this game. Although, awkward spot here, but Lofter will be sent into the hands of Luca, and they just gotta, again, they gotta set the pace somehow. They gotta go for some demos. Haven't seen so many bump attempts, as otherwise the freestyle play will come out between the Mitch and Luca connection like we've seen all season long.
And I think, was that a pinch or no? Mitch just redirected. I'm fairly certain. Was it a pinch?
Nah, it was just a quick hit.
Either way, a solid play coming out from the Krakens. It was a 0-0 game, but they still never really looked like they were in much danger. They were breathing normally and just kind of seemed like they were hanging out until the last minute mark. They decided, all right, we're going to score here. Still, Vanguard, they had some opportunities. That fake almost net them a goal if they had been maybe a tiny bit more accurate. So now down 0-2, an even more daunting task in front of them, but still potentially a way forward for Vanguard.
Yeah, I mean, really, from casting Luca games before, I mean, he's been in the league so long, and I've been casting a lot of these playoff matches that he always ends up making deep runs in, and I can tell you that the way to beat him is to get bumps and get boost steals and just be a physically aggressive team. And Mitch has a very similar playstyle to Luca, so that is definitely the way to go. And if they're afraid of the boost steals, afraid of the bumps, these fakes can be absolutely disastrous on the defensive side. And we saw that literally all 3 players were waiting for a shot, and no shot came out. But the problem was the follow-up for Vanguard wasn't there. So, granted, the communication is not the biggest strength for this Vanguard roster. Arrow, not really an effective communicator. Zera, a little quiet as well. And I'm not quite sure as to how Mike or Tomer are, but Mike is not here, and Tomer is their sub, so definitely the chemistry not quite there. And if you're going to be pulling off a lot of bumps, a lot of boost steals, a lot of fakes, the communication needs to be tightly in order. And in that situation, it was not. But, again, first minute in, they're holding on.
Holding on they are, although that bump almost creating a scoring opportunity for the Krakens. Surfing around the net of Vanguard. And Arrow might not have the best communication, but he does have some pretty good mechanics, and so far he's been, just absolutely shut down every single time he tries to go for a play. But if he could potentially find maybe just a little bit of space We do know that he's capable of making some plays, creating offensive pressure, making threatening things happen. Still, remaining scoreless. Luka doesn't get the best touch out, but he will follow it. That's a good beat by Arrow. 2 defenders win, but Luka already back in net, going to be so difficult. Arrow passing across, but Sarah just wasn't ready for it. Wasn't in position. Still, a good shot coming out. Not enough to break through the Krakens, but more good looks coming out from Vanguard. They still will have 0 shots credited to their name, but they've at least managed to get a little bit closer than in previous games. With half the game going, still 2 minutes left. That was a good look again, but the double demo coming out. COVID Coffee not able to make the touch. Arrow standing tall, the only member of his team alive, manages to send it away. And 2 minutes 30 seconds here now. I mean, this looks a lot more like game 2, but there might be a chance here. That one going to make its way through, and Vanguard sees their first lead of the series.
Their first shot of the game, too, and a great pass from Zara to beat out a pre-jumping Mitch. And just back post enough to where Luka could not react in time. Great shot location from Arrow there. And, you know, if you give Arrow boost and you give him space, just like I said, he can do really good things. Granted, we haven't seen the flip reset double tap potential yet, but, you know, with a sub playing in, it's going to be really hard to be put in those opportunities. But, again, if they can get bumps, if they can get the boost deals, they can set up Arrow for some really good shooting opportunities. And that, between the boost deals, bumps, they can finally get some mechanical success on this Krakens roster, who we all know, with Coffee as a legitimate third man back there, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to get by any of these 3 players, but at that point, that's the recipe for success.
They need to try to hold on to this. Mitch got the fake over 1. Didn't quite find the outplay on the second, but it'll be Kraken's possession once again. Luka getting dunked out. That one narrowly avoiding going in the back of the net. Vanguard so far doing well to hang on to this small advantage that they have. Arrow saying this one to the middle. Might be a shot follow-up, but Luka expecting the pass, manages to block it out. And the demo in net. That one might just be rolling in. Mitch came out of the net after getting a filthy demo and manages to secure it.
You know, that was almost very reminiscent of the first goal that I think Mitch actually ended up scoring in game 1, where he just ended up flying out of net. And, you know, as long as you maintain the position after those demos, you can do a little bit of a half rotate and able to get a goal right there, as he kind of just ended up floating right in front of the net. And, you know, with Vanguard only at 2 shots, I mean, Kraken's only at 5, so a low shooting affair on both sides. But, I mean, you can't let Vanguard back into this game, and a pass out to the middle for Luka, but not able to put that one through. And Vanguard going to have to come up with one more stellar opportunity to try and stop this surging Krakens roster.
It does feel like the pressure is once again mounting. We've seen this so many times in this series. Usually it results in a goal, but this one's actually going to be a goal for Vanguard, managing to catch the Krakens out on the counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, just Mitch out of position, and again, looked like Coffee, you know, especially the higher up level you go, you don't want to, I mean, I say it all the time, don't smack the ball off the sidewall, and especially in the corner. You got to be very careful doing that on the offensive side, because that can result in some quick offensive transitions for the other team. And if you're not on the same page, that's exactly what happens. But, I mean, really good for Vanguard to be converting on the few mistakes that Krakens are presenting to them.
Oh, that's an open net, though. The demo once again. Luka caught lurking, and he manages to get the perfect demo. The ball just came right to him, too. I mean, that's a really tough play for Vanguard.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you know, I've been calling for Vanguard to get for some more bumps and demos plays, but I think it almost seems like the Krakens have got north of 6, 7 demos here in game number 3, and, you know, especially with the rotation being as slow as it is. Hold on, Topper with the busty? The rotation being as slow as it is, the demos are going to absolutely be affecting this Vanguard roster. And, I mean, now we'll be headed to another overtime here, potentially. Unless the 0 second goes via Vanguard's way. Ball will not touch the ground yet. His arrow back to the middle for Zara. Over to Luka. And now, again, these quick offensive transitions, but the ball, okay, you know, it just won't touch the ground, really.
Whoa. I don't know what's happening here. Okay, we do head to an overtime after a very close call for Vanguard. They looked quite close to conceding, but managing to stay afloat. Now it's actually Vanguard with the first opportunity. Won't be able to find success, and Luca on the dribble. Palmer, though, staying patient, not letting his momentum fall off too much, manages to make a good defensive play. Now on the other end of things, Vanguard almost finding their way through. Palmer gets beat to the ball, but that's okay for Vanguard. They just send it right back. Now Zera trying to follow this one, doesn't have enough boost to make anything convincing happen, but Arrow will. Trying the redirect off the sidewall, won't be able to find it. This one almost on net. Another close call for Vanguard. In fact, they will be the ones with possession. Arrow looking for another double touch, trying to send this one center. But the patience, I mean, the Krakens' read on where the ball is going is impeccable. Now Mitch going for the redirect, gets it off the backboard. Luca up for this one, gonna try to follow it, gets the touch, and it's almost on target. But more patient defense, and now the backboard. Mitch surely has that one, and indeed he does. Krakens take a third game in a row.
I didn't expect him to get the pancake on this one. Originally, when he went up for it, didn't look like he got the flip reset. But another bit of a bump came out in the net. Luca smashing Palmer to the back, and you know, if that bump didn't come out, the mechanics of Mitch would have not been shown out there. But either way, a really good shot from Mitch to secure Game 3, going up 3-0 in the series now. And again, I called for it. And Vanguard, they were bumping and, you know, getting a little demos here and there, but oh my goodness, Krakens. I mean, again, another goal resulting off of a bump. And I mean, this is what Krakens look like when they're taking their foot on the gas pedal light. I can't wait for them to see in their semifinals matchup, assuming, well, actually, I guess Nebula could make it through, but obviously everyone thinks the favorites there are going to be Blizzard. I just want to see another Krakens Blizzard. We've seen it twice in this season already. I want to see it a third time. But anyways, back to this series. Vanguard down 3-0 in the series. Again, Palmer, top of the scoreboard. He is getting involved here. But it's so hard to break through this Krakens roster on the defensive side of things.
Yeah, and, well, Vanguard needs to do it 4 times in a row if they want a chance at reviving their playoff hopes. Not a small feat to ask for. But, you know, miracles do happen. Well, depending on who you ask. Maybe miracles are just coincidences. But one thing is sure, and that's that Vanguard will need a miracle in order to take this series. They'll be focusing on one game at a time. And if there's any consolation, it's the fact that the last game did go to overtime, the closest game of the series so far. They at least managed to get some pressure, get some shots off. However, they still have a tall task in front of them as Luca with a ridiculous redirect. That was filthy.
I mean, a little bit of credit to Zera. I mean, just a challenge he shouldn't have really been up for. 50s it perfectly off the sidewall, but either way, that was dirty, not only to get that touch, but to put it in, you know, the top left to Bardowski. And huge opening goal from them as Arrow off the ceiling will find the follow-up for a quick answer.
And there's the Arrow that we all know. He gets the beat on one. Not sure exactly where the defense went, but regardless, Arrow will follow it up with the touch off the ceiling. As soon as we saw them there, we all knew with no defender in the net, that ball's going back there. And he will equalize quickly. A couple of very mechanical goals coming out from both teams, and now another one actually. Arrow managing to get a flick past the defense, and some life for Vanguard perhaps.
And, you know, I mean, again, like I said, you give Arrow space and boost. You know, good things happen. Good flick. Looked like Luca may have been able to get there. Might have taken off a little bit too early and boosting in the wrong direction. But I mean, you know, it only takes microseconds of misinput to put yourself a little bit off target. But either way, a great kickoff, great goal from Vanguard and Arrow. And, you know, and that's another thing. They got to start winning these kickoffs. A lot of them have gone the way of Krakens. And, you know, pretty hard to beat two high-level 1v1 players in Luca and Mitch. Although, they are bumping each other on the goal line, and Zero will put it in the top shelf. So, that's the thing with 1v1 players. You got to work with your team here.
I apologized for laughing because that timing of what you said and what happened on the field was just uncanny. But Vanguard here getting a 2-goal advantage off of a couple defensive lapses from the Krakens, and they were able to hold on to a 1-goal advantage for a fairly long time. Maybe they can hold on to a 2-goal advantage still. Plenty of time left in this game, plenty of time for the Krakens to mount a comeback. Tomer will try to take this dribble, pinching quickly into the Kraken zone. This one will go up, almost another net for Vanguard to shoot on, but the Kraken's fast enough to it this time. Coffee going to have to make a touch here, and this one actually going to get past the shot. Follow up, not good enough, but more opportunities for Vanguard. And they will just be happy to see that they have opportunities, but Luka on the counter-attack. I think they might have gone smokescreen there on the goal line as Krakens bring it within one.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely, it was in fact the smoke. I mean, either way, that was perfectly placed on the far left side there. Arrow being in the right spot, being in the center of the net for that opening shot. But, I mean, just the smoke and combination of perfect accuracy. Going to slip that one past, and now only down by 1.
Well, I've heard of one-way smokes in Counter-Strike and Valorant. Perhaps this is the meta of them bringing... Oh, hold up a second. Arrow, I think just no one on the pitch expected him to get that last little touch. And Vanguard up 2 once again.
I mean, I think Mitch was ready for it. It was just a combination of him having to race back, and I don't think he had any boost. And Coffee with the pre-jump, which, a little bit of an early pre-jump, especially considering the speed at which Arrow is traveling in the air. Not much he could have been able to do with that, as a big whiff off the back wall for Luka, but luckily Mitch able to bail him out. Rare mistake coming out from him, but that being said, a lot of rare mistakes coming out. Becoming a little bit commonplace here in game number 4 for the Krakens, which has led to Vanguard scoring 4 goals on them. Not going to see anybody usually put more than a 3 spot on this team, as a 5th one almost ends up flying in. But either way, good momentum here for Vanguard. Still halfway through this game for Krakens. Try and get things under order for their misplays, as, whoa, my goodness, almost 3 players whiff on the side for Vanguard. But, I mean, either way, Vanguard playing well here. And kind of for the first game, Tomer not on top of the scoreboard. Arrow with a hat trick.
And Arrow's been a huge part of this success in Game 4. Obviously putting in 3 goals there. Zara looking to add another one to their tally. Not quite able to find it, but Vanguard creating chances now. On the other side of things, Kraken's making a lot of big defensive misplays. Luka barely able for this one, but he does manage to rush back, get in position in order to save it. They'll be sent back into their half once again, and Tomer creating chaos on the goal line. Managing to demo one, make the other defender jump. Not quite enough to secure a goal, but enough to at least waste some time off the clock. And now Tomer passing back to Zara, passing back to Tomer, and Mitch with a crucial demo there. Didn't want to see that play come to fruition. So 50 through 1, but Zara equal his play once again. And I mean, I don't know. It might just be the Krakens kind of messing around. Not caring too much at this point, but Vanguard looking like they have a much more real... well, okay, here comes Mitch. He has something to say about what I was about to say.
I was going to say, I mean, even when the Krakens troll, they still are trying to win. And that being said, you give Mitch a perfect and open backboard opportunity like that, he's going to hit it more often than not. And not only that, with the bounce shot, he had the open left, he had the open right, but, just for the ultimate disrespect, put the bounce shot right below the final defender. Definitely not miss accuracy coming out from him right there, but now only down by 1, and Vanguard starting to falter a little bit, as now Tomer racing back with 0 boost. Good opportunity for Coffee. He was getting hounded by Tomer, but still open opportunity, but 0 racing back to get a save, and the final minute going via way of Krakens. And Vanguard, I have to hope to put up quite the defensive stand in the last 30 seconds.
And they will certainly have a lot of obstacles to deal with as this one's sent away. Tomer getting a nice clear. You know, if anyone was wondering how these guys are 19-0, or crazy enough to think that, the last goal should be a good reminder of why they are. And still, they don't have much time to score in this game. And when you're kind of laying off the gas a little bit, still can be tough to try and find them, even if you do consider yourselves a better team. 10 seconds. Mitch sent back into his half. This one's almost open for Vanguard, but 2 players commit. And now Mitch with a free ball. This is not where they want to end up. Pre-flip over 1. Luca keeping it up, but it will drop. And Krakens don't get to see the sweep. Vanguard will take at least a game.
Yeah, and I mean let's not discount Vanguard just yet. You said 19-0. They are 18-0 currently.
Apologies, I can't count.
I mean, just like everybody else, I do believe they will win this matchup, but and move on to 19-0. But Vanguard with a bit of an anomaly there in game number 4, putting up 13 shots, a very high shot total from them, but also a very underperforming Krakens in game 4. And again, I wouldn't say they're trolling. It's just a very blip on the radar kind of game. Coffee bumped Luca, resulting in an open net. Bit of a 2 kickoff goals that kind of went in when they shouldn't have. So I wouldn't say some lucky goals for Vanguard, but definitely ones that Krakens should not be giving up. So I really feel like Krakens probably come back here and maybe give them the gentleman's reverse gentleman's sweep. Normally you give up the first game and then give them 4, but maybe you give up 3 and then give up 1. But either way, I think Krakens come back and they dominate here. I don't think they want to see anything coming out of Vanguard. That being said, this will roll in for the left, and I don't know, maybe Vanguard, they might be onto something.
Well, you know, like you said, let's not discount them just yet. Arrow getting a clean beat over Mitch, and that is a goal they worked for off the kickoff. But nonetheless, it will count on the scoreboard, and Vanguard starting off this game same way they ended off the last one, in the lead. Let's see if they can continue that momentum. It's really going to be about consistency from them. Tomer not able to make that touch. And Luca actually with something that reminded me of the pinches that I try to go for in my own games. Just bouncing further than the ball did off of the wall. But nonetheless, Kraken still maintaining pressure here. Mitch going for the sidewall, no doubt looking for the redirect, but it will be sent away. Coffee sends this one through. Mitch trying to get something going, but it's not quite coming to fruition. Now Arrow with a free double touch opportunity, just barely. Actually, Coffee saved that one. I think that was going in, and he barely managed to get the save off of the crossbar, no less.
And that was the first real solo play opportunity. We saw Arrow get a dribble in the past game. As a huge bump comes out, Tomer going to take to a dribble of his own, looking for a fake, and he will put it past the expert SSL 1v1 player in Mitch. And you know, I said get Tomer involved, I said get Arrow involved, and, you know, we're waiting for Zera. He's just been playing a solid midfield role, but oh my goodness.
Wait up just a second. Like you said, he 1v1's one of the best 1v1ers in the lobby, and all of a sudden, Vanguard carrying the momentum from Game 4, getting a couple goals on the board, building their own confidence, maybe starting to believe in themselves as Tomer gets a nice save. But waiting backboard, this one a beautiful clear by Zera, crucial touch to avoid conceding. And they are looking like a completely different team from game number 1, managing to find some counterplay to this immense Krakens offense. Still, Krakens intent on breaking through. Zera will get this pass though, and this is another chance. Mitch sending it away quite handily. But that's not the best touch from Coffee. He will recover, sending it out. And Mitch getting a pass to the middle, perhaps even further. Luca there for the shot. And a bit of a confusing play to read, but Krakens had it all the way.
Yeah, these are usually how our league games go. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, then they don't know what you're doing.
Exactly.
There's a bit of a fake pinch attempt perhaps coming out, or maybe Coffee really did want the pinch, but looked like he didn't have any boost. Either way, a great infield pass over to Luca, who will secure that one. But, I mean, still, I mean, just, again, Tomer, he is the sub for this roster, but, I mean, he could not be filling Mike's shoes any better for his MMR. The past 2, I haven't seen him play since he was on Blaze in the past season or 2. But, you know, the play-in game, this series, I mean, they're not in the driver's seat in this series. Do have the lead here in game number 5, but Tomer has done exactly what he's needed to do in this series for his team, getting some really good saves off some tough shots. And, you know, Arrow starting to get some boost, starting to get some space, pull out these solo plays. And I'm just waiting for not that. I was waiting for Zera to get involved here too, but an unfortunate touch off of that save.
And oh, that is just so unlucky for Arrow. Cheated up a tiny bit too much off of the goal line and pays heavily for it. But like you said, you know, this Vanguard roster, they're putting up a good counterattack to the Krakens roster, managing to find some, as Mitch barely missing the corner read. Especially Tomer, I've been impressed with him throughout the entire play-in tournament as well. He's looked really good in place of Mike, and I believe in place of Zera for one game, if I'm not mistaken. But Zera actually coming through here, he's been a little bit quiet the last couple games, but he'll make his presence known.
Yeah, you know, when I wanted Zera to get involved, I didn't mean quite like this. As the Kraken's triple commit comes out, and you know, Coffee, I have to say, 95% of the time, Coffee does have insane third-man defense. That being said, he is known to come out with some sus kind of trolly touches. Hold on, he's going for the double. Did have the read, but was sent away. He has been known to own goal at times. In fact, he owned goal once in our series that we played against him. Not sure if it's a misinput or, you know, what's going on. Either way, the triple commit was extremely unwarranted. No need for everybody on the team to go, but, you know, a little help from Coffee goes a long way here for Krakens, or excuse me, Vanguard, as almost a triple commit of their own. They're looking to get more of a foothold on this series, try and mount some sort of reverse sweep hopes attempt on. You know, if Mitch and Luca get reverse swept, I don't even want to think about that possibility.
Well, right now we are looking at the possibility, as a minute to go and Kraken's still trailing by one. Vanguard, even though they haven't had the edge in the series, will concede again, making me eat my words. And, you know, I'm wondering, we've been talking about them taking their foot off the gas, but how long can they take their foot off the gas before it becomes force of habit and Vanguard finds their way back into the series?
They're definitely, I'd say the first few games, they were, after game 1, game 2, game 3, they were definitely looking a little light. I can tell they're definitely trying to increase the pace here. They're just, you know, I think what you said is correct. You know, they're spending a little bit light on the gas pedal, and now they're trying to play faster. They're trying to play more precise, and they're starting to make some mistakes. And that's, again, another rare mistake coming out from Luca. Great goal a few seconds ago from them. They're getting the bumps. They're bumping way more than I thought the Krakens would ever bump. So good on them for that. But their defense is not under order, is another one in a dangerous spot. Will be sent away by Luca. But yeah, I think they've been playing relaxed so long. They're trying to speed things up again, and it's hurting them.
And, well, we all know Rocket League is as much of a mental game as it is a mechanical. That's not a good touch coming out once again. And the Krakens, I mean, I'm not sure what is happening to them right now.
Yeah, they're doing a bit of trolling, as this time Mitch gonna ball out Coffee. But again, whether or not Coffee should have made that touch, it was a double commit. And Coffee, he was further away, even though it was his ball, he had the better read. But, you know, the defense just not in order. They're not in sync with each other. As another mistouch to the middle. But Luca able to send that away before Arrow could get a shot off. And, you know, there's definitely been some great Vanguard goals. There's definitely been some extremely sus and weird Vanguard goals. Sans or Zera. I don't even know what kind of goal that was that Zera was able to pull off. It's right place, right time. But ultimately, a lot of these coming out from just extremely blatant Krakens mistakes. And, you know, I figure if they're trolling, they're taking things easy, they maybe give up one game. But now, starting to get a little bit of doubt in my mind as to how much they are in the driver's seat in this series, as this will be game number 2 that they will be giving up in the series. And, you know, now this means we're headed to Forbidden Temple. And if any shenanigans are going to happen, it will be on Forbidden Temple. And if Krakens are really going to troll all the way to game 7 and, you know, give up their playoff hopes for the sake of content and their own personal giddiness, that would be quite the move. Not the correct move, but quite the move.
That would in fact be quite the move. Not completely unprecedented, as I believe we have had probably Luca once again having some shenanigans sending us to games where we definitely should not be. But, you know, with that said, I'm no expert in the field of psychology, but I do know humans are creatures of habit. If you make it a habit to not give it your all and kind of allot yourself these silly mistakes, whether intentional or not, or as a byproduct of letting off that throttle and not giving it your all, sometimes, especially in a series format, it might be difficult to regain. And like you said, it looked like they were trying to play faster, trying to revamp from their kind of lesser playstyle, and they weren't quite able to find a way back. And Vanguard, these aren't bad players by any stretch of the imagination. For the most part, we just consider Luca and Mitch with Coffee as a solid third to be a tier above most of the rest of Titan League. But we can't forget Vanguard roster does deserve to be here. They've earned their spot in the playoffs, and they are not going home quietly. Either way, we head into Forbidden Temple. Like you said, how many how many silly matches have we seen on Forbidden Temple? This one, who knows who will win?
Okay. Yeah, too many is the answer to that question.
Yeah, definitely too many. But at the same time, we do love to see it. Luca trying to create some offense here. And another even start. We won't see a complete reversion to Game 1 just yet. And if the Krakens are planning to go to Game 7, maybe, I'm not sure if I'm more worried for theirs or Vanguard's sake. But either way, still remaining scoreless here, and things kind of the same as they have been for the last 2 games now, Bagels.
Yeah, I mean, as another huge shot from Arrow, and again, actually, I think there was one game where Vanguard scored first and they didn't end up losing that game, but every other game they've scored first, they have won. Again, the all too familiar statistic of scoring first and you win. But yeah, I mean, we have seen the same thing the past few games. It's just Krakens trying to speed up, trying to get back to their caliber of play we know them to be at. And whether it's via intentional or not, like you said, they are not at their peak performance. They're not even at really half performances. Arrow looking for a double tap, but again, great defense from Coffee when he's not sending it on his own net. And Vanguard, they're playing well. Zera's getting involved in the midfield, just being a nuisance, getting those 50s, getting a pass every now and then. Arrow's getting these solo plays, and Tomer is getting some really good saves on the defense and getting involved on the offense as well. So, this is a great spot to be if you're Vanguard. Kind of a shame they decided to give up 3 games in a row to start off the series. And now Krakens, they're gonna have to play serious here. I mean, I know they don't really play serious that often. It is playoffs though. I mean, honestly, it is a little bit about the money, but it's more about just saying, it's about the glory. It's about saying you won and just proving to everybody that you are the best team in the league. But they might not get the chance to do that if they can't get through their way of the 8th seed in Vanguard, who barely made it here. Granted, they do deserve to be here, but they were sitting at 7-1, and they fell all the way to 10 and I'm not quite sure what their record was to finish off the season, but they barely snuck in here, and they are losing right now. This Krakens team is, and if they somehow lose this, Arrow will not let them hear the end of it.
Yeah, I think there are quite a few people who would have something to say if they did manage to lose this somehow. Some of us would be just slightly bewildered. But right now what we are seeing is Vanguard taking the reins in game number 6, up a goal, and not really looking like they're in danger of losing it that much. The constant threats in games 1, 2, and 3 have seemed to subside a decent amount. But we can't forget who we're dealing with here. I'm sure that Vanguard has not forgotten either. Zera trying to make something happen here in the corner. And will be kind of hanging out awkwardly. But Mitch will manage to clear it out, trying to follow it as well. Manages to get a touch, and this could be a shot. But Zera gets back that one on target, and Tomer with a ridiculous pinch out. I have no idea how he even managed to save that one.
And another big team bump. Arrow and Zera not on the same page. Both players going for the bump when one of them should have stayed glued to that ball on the sidewall. But again, Tomer has come up with so many huge saves on the defensive side. A chance to put up an insurance goal here. And I'm just looking at the clock now. There's a minute left. That would have been a big, huge goal as another double commit. Going to be dangerous here if Mitch can get something started on the counterattack past one. looking to get a pinch play, but Coffee, again, double committing. Kraken's not on the same page either. Zera going up for a bump, but Luca was up extremely early for that. And, I mean, this is just, Forbidden Temple, it just provides pandemonium. And we have 1 minute left before a reverse sweep potential could be realized.
And I don't even know what to say at this point. Like you said, less than a minute left, 40 seconds. All that Vanguard really needs to do is try and keep Krakens backed up, not let them get opportunities on their net. But they've been pretty consistent at doing that so far in the latter half of this series. 25 seconds to go, and it's on the Krakens to try and score here. See what Luca can do. Can't flick past one even. Arrow misses his touch. That's not good, but Coffee doesn't really get a great follow-up. In fact, Tomer will be the one to send it clear. Luca equal to the save, but time is running out, and the Krakens, nothing to show for all their efforts in this game. 1 second left. Zera faked it out. And I can't believe I'm saying it, but Vanguard is taking us to Game 7. Reverse sweep potential on the line.
That was dirty from Zera right there, just making everybody bite thinking he was going to do that. And honestly, I don't blame him. Very surprised to see Vanguard just diving on every ball that was coming out of the defensive third of Krakens. Especially considering the talent Luca and Mitch and even Coffee have in the 1v1 arena. You don't want to give them too many opportunities. And there was a huge dunk from Tomer just a few seconds prior to that play. So they're just really, they were not trying to take any chances. That being said, you got to be careful about throwing your body on the offensive side of things, because we saw a lot of double commits in the last minute on both teams. And now it is nut up or shut up time here for this Krakens roster. They've been apparently, I could tell they've been trolling at some points in this series. It's time for them to kind of figure things out. You could only troll so far before this Vanguard roster just might surprise you one more time and knock you in the teeth. That being said, another big double commit to start off this offense for the Vanguard roster.
And this is the same series, which at the start of it, I mean, we weren't saying it, but we were pretty much discounting Vanguard's any opportunity once they got Braziled very convincingly in the first game. Now they have managed to bring us back to a Game 7, and whether you believe that Krakens are by far a superior team or not, the fact remains that winning a best of one is a much different percentage than winning a series against a team. Anything can happen when you only have to win one game, as we've seen plenty of times. This one actually going to get beat out. Arrow, if he was able to get another touch there, might have been dangerous. And the last time that it looked like the Krakens were playing at full strength, they Braziled. They scored in the first 6 seconds, maybe even scored like 4 times in the first minute. Now, over a minute has gone by, and they have not scored. Is this where the Krakens start to get a little bit nervous?
I think so. I think they've been nervous the past... I wouldn't say nervous. I think they've definitely been feeling the heat the past few games, but still, I mean, it's only a matter of time, I feel like, before they score, because they're definitely on full try-hard mode. That being said, Coffee with the mistake. Luca there for the shot, but a huge save from Arrow. They are throwing everything they can at the offense, and Vanguard are biting on every play. There's double commits left and right. There's low boost. It's only a matter of time before Krakens push through, but still, Vanguard able to make their way out of the defensive side, as Krakens have been double committing as well, although a little bit of a lucky touch falling through the middle was Mitch. 50 off the backboard, and Tomer cutting it off. I mean, I don't know. This I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who's going to win. I have no idea.
Right now, it is an even game still, with almost half the match gone by. Opportunities flying left and right for both teams. That's a ridiculous shot on target, but the save from Arrow still keeping Vanguard alive. And Krakens have had a few opportunities which, if they had looked like their normal selves, you would expect them to absolutely slot it to the top shelf, but missing wide on a couple of them. And Luca with an uncharacteristic miss at himself in the corner. Still, it's Vanguard's over and over being thrown back into their half, forced to retreat time and time again as time continues to tick, and still remaining scoreless here. This is dangerous for the Krakens, though. Coffee can't get the shot off, but still coming through. Tomer will save this one. He's been the man. He's been the guy for Vanguard, coming out clutch, but every single member of the roster
the pass
in this reverse sweep has been coming through. They just need one more game of brilliance, maybe even just one more goal of brilliance. Zera gets another 50 out, and as we remain scoreless here, you have to think, with time going on for this long and Krakens remaining scoreless, it almost feels like Vanguard are the ones pressing the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely shaking in their boots a little bit, but a bump attempt. Tomer with another big save. He's done this all series. But the Vanguard, they just got their first shot. Mitch is going to slot it with the slow roller. And honestly, my heart's been palpating a little bit because I had my heart set on a Blizzard Kraken semifinal, but a huge goal from Mitch. The first goal they've scored in quite a while. And they're in the driver's seat now, but still, I can tell Vanguard has one more push in them.
And I have to say, even though Vanguard, the massive underdogs, they'll get the demo coffee taken out of the equation, and the confident play strike again. Vanguards immediately equalize.
And, you know, one of the things I was saying, you gotta bump this team, and they haven't gotten that many demos, but a crucial demo right there in Mitch, not ready for coffee, to be annihilated off the field, pressed too far up in the defensive box, and Vanguard right back into it. That being said, off the kickoff, Luca, he's got space, he's got the flip reset, looking to take it down, but the opportunity was shut down early, and we are back to square one merely.
And this Vanguard players, they look just infinitely more confident than they did at the beginning of the series. You could even see Tomer pre-jumping saves off of air dribbles. The players look like they have a very good read, and on the other side of things, Krakens are shaking in their boots. They are making so many uncharacteristic missed touches, not making the plays that they normally are known for. With a tie game, this is still anyone's series to take. Luca, with a risky touch off, does manage to get past the defense, or excuse me, past the oncoming offensive Vanguard, but the ball's still lingering in the half of the Krakens. Luca has to make another touch, and he'll have to try to get past another. Now Zera last back, but he does well to get it free. Getting another touch as well, trying to 50 Mitch. Won't be able to make it happen, and as we approach 20 seconds here, so much back and forth still being realized. Luca gets us past one. This is a dangerous spot, but he doesn't have the double touch. Still, the net was wide open. Mitch can't find the shot. 9 seconds to go, and the net is open. Coffee will be the one to put it away, and heartbreak for Vanguard.
I mean, it looked like, who was this? Arrow just not ready for the double tap out of Mitch. You got to put 100% faith in that he's going to hit this. 3 players in net, essentially. And Coffee, he just might well get the dagger to save. I can't believe I'm saying this. Save Kraken season.
I don't know what this series even is, but it's not quite over yet. 0 seconds. Vanguard still with the opportunity. Tomer to the touch, but it's just wide. And the Krakens, after coming so close, David was 1 stone away from taking down Goliath. But in the end, the Krakens proved to be too much in one of the craziest series I think I've ever seen.
I mean, that was just unfortunate for Vanguard there. They had a real good shot there in the final second, but a double commit didn't allow that shot to come through fruition. Tomer, he may have even with the double commit, I think he got bumped a little bit by Arrow, whoever that was. Could have maybe still put that shot on the left side. The left side was available, but how am I even saying that Krakens went to Game 7, winning by 1 goal, scoring with 8 seconds left against the 8-seeded Vanguard team who is playing with a sub? That being said, that may have been the best Rocket League that Tomer has ever played.
Yeah, no, I mean, we can't discount Vanguard at all. Tomer was playing out of his mind. Arrow showed up, and Zera as well. Tomer, the most impressive to me as well, being the substitute, but still playing such a huge role in taking 3 games off of the best team in Titan. At least the best record. Maybe you can debate who the best team in Titan is. But wow, after winning 7-1, going up 3 games, we somehow stuck around for long enough to go to Game 7. I apologize. I'm still trying to wrap my head around what just happened. Because after they lost 1 game, I thought, okay, Kraken's just messing around. They lost 2 games. I thought, okay, they've been messing around kind of a long time. And at a certain point, I think it's like what we talked about. they started doing it, and they found it hard to stop. But to their credit, once again, Vanguard played extremely well. Looking forward to seeing Krakens once again in the semifinals. Congratulations to Vanguard making it through the play-in tournament. No small feat, and making their way to the quarterfinals and really taking it to the number 1 seeded team. But in the end, it was a bit too much. They couldn't clutch it out with the ice in Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, just wow. I know that there was definitely some elements of trolling, but that was just Krakens playing really, really bad. And I really hope they figure this out in the semis, assuming that Blizzard mops the floor with Nebula. Not that Nebula doesn't have a chance, but Blizzard. I really think Blizzard could absolutely sweep Krakens the way Krakens were playing today. I think Blizzard could have absolutely taken either of the 2 series they played, both of them going to Game 5 earlier in the season. The last series that went to Game 5, a 0-second triple flip reset, almost coming out from Max to tie it up. But I mean, yeah, what a series. And I think this may be the first playoff series where nobody used a timeout, and I'm pretty sure Krakens could have used it.
Honestly, yeah, I think they just were already concerned enough that this game was being streamed and just didn't want to stay there for any longer. So I did see Mitch come into chat saying he doesn't want to talk about it. That's all right. It was a
You
wild...
come to us when you're ready.
Yeah. We'll be waiting. But either way, we have had a full day of series. I even said beforehand we've had ups and downs. I don't even know whether I could call this an up or a down, but it was certainly a spectacle. It was a spectacle at the very least. Credit to both teams. And we'll see what goes on with this. We will be back on Friday night for an amount of matches. I'm not sure how many, but we will have more playoff action Friday and then Saturday as well. As always, Saturday Night Rocket League. You know where it's at. This has been an extremely wild stream. And thank you guys all for watching. I think we hit almost 100 viewers there at some points. I mean, I would have tuned in as well if I wasn't casting to watch that Game 7. But thank you guys all for watching. I don't think I have any subs to thank unless I'm incorrect. But thank you guys for your support. As always, it's been a blast. And we will see you guys back here once again on Friday.